What's up, military and veterans? The time has come for you to destroy your financial freedom goals, and luckily, there's an event coming up just for you.
The Veterans for Financial Freedom organization is hosting a seminar in San Diego, California this February on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, real estate investing, and some of our Agent Goldmine guests are rocking the stage as speakers.
Get your ticket at veteransforfinancialfreedom.org/Agent Goldmine and take action towards your goals today. Now, enjoy the show.
Because it was all about generational wealth. Like I was trying to leave money for my great grandchildren, And that was the moment I realized health is wealth.
This episode is not about specifics of transactions or, sales contract. This is about overall life, health, and that money is not everything. This is the Agent Goldmine, where you'll find real talk, and ambition. We're here to build real businesses and be more than your average agent. We want to know what the killers are actually doing within their businesses, the reality of it. All tactical, no fluff. So we're here to find out. Please share and enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of The Agent Goldmine, where today Shelby and I are interviewing an amazing guest, Zan Ward, or maybe if you're not BFFs with her, Alexandria Ward. The both of us got connected because she heard me on a podcast on Keeping It Real, and we had a call and we hit it off. I was like, dude, I have to have you on our podcast. You are amazing. And I don't want to go too much into your story, Zan, because I want you to tell it. You have such a powerful story, but for the listeners, this episode is not about specifics of transactions or, sales contract. This is about overall life, health, and that money is not everything. So I think you're really, really going to enjoy this one. Zan, welcome to the show.
Yay. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me, you guys.
Oh my gosh, of course. And so I got to hear it from you. I haven't heard you. I haven't had the honor of the Zoom that you and Ali have. So I know your story is a little different than other agents, a little unconventional. Can you hit us with your real estate journey so far?
So, I'm going to start from kind of the beginning. I started real estate in 2015 with the hopes of always having my own company. So I gave myself 5 years. And so what I did was I went to the top brokerages, Beard & Warner, Keller Williams, HomeSmart. And then I went to a couple smaller ones, kind of seeing what everybody was doing. I didn't make my first deal. I didn't sell my first home until for a year and a half to a family member. I became a real estate broker to help my family members. My parents had a bad agent, and I decided that would never happen to anybody that I know and love. So that was kind of the start. 5 years later, started my own company, Forward Realty. Everything was going good. I remember it was in November of 2022. I had this meeting with my brokers. I have it was 5 brokers, but now 4 brokers in my company. And it was just a great time. And I was just so excited. And then on my drive home from the meeting, I noticed that my eyes are kind of bothering me. Like I was kind of seeing, it was a little blurry. So I just thought it was allergies. I didn't think anything of it. So at the time, my parents went out of the country for 3 weeks with my daughter. So I was watching their pets. And I remember I was just sitting in my parents' house, and I was having a good old time by myself. And then all of a sudden I noticed something. My right eye got covered, and then I couldn't see anything. But at the time I thought the lights just went out. And so I'm like, but when I moved my hand from my eye, all of a sudden the lights came back on. And that was the moment I realized I was going blind in my left eye. So I'm like, okay, I had LASIK in 2005, and they told me I would need reading glasses over time. So I thought maybe it was that situation where I kind of needed some reading glasses or something. So I went to the eye doctor, and the guy was like, you need a specialist. And I was kind of freaking out a little bit, but not really, because I'm like, what's going on, right? And so one of the brokers in my company is a nurse, and she had called me to search something on the MLS. And that's when I shared with her, I'm like, oh my God, my eye is going blind. I don't know what's happening. And she was like, go to the hospital now. You could be having a stroke. And that kind of freaked me out. So I went to the hospital, and fast forward, they kept me for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then that's when I found out that they said that I could possibly have an autoimmune disease, MS. And so it was scary because I spent the last however many years building my brand, building my business, doing all the right things, but it was so stressful at times. Like even with selling real estate in 2020, when your clients lose a home, they put an offer on, it was like I lost a home. I was so stressed for my clients and doing everything I could to help them, and just everything was it was a blur. So at one point I remember thinking to myself, because my dad would always say, nothing happens to you, it happens for you. And he said, never say why not me, say why me. So that's what I was thinking. What is the universe trying to tell me? What is God trying to tell me right now? And I realized he wanted me to take time for myself and not focus so much on wealth, because it was all about generational wealth, generational wealth. Like I was trying to leave money for my great grandchildren, and that was the moment I realized health is wealth. So now I focus on generational health.
Oh my gosh. Okay, real quick, do you have the autoimmune disease? Do you
Yes,
have
yes. It took the doctors 4 to 5 months to diagnose me with MS. I had two neurologists and countless doctors. They said I have multiple sclerosis.
Okay, and so I could Google this real quick on the side,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna ask, what exactly is MS and what are the symptoms? How does it affect your life?
So okay, so it's funny because besides I had tingling in my fingers and toes in October when I came back from St. Lucia. I was in St. Lucia for a week, and when I came back, I didn't feel good. I'm just like, why is my fingers and toes tingling? I would go to the doctor and no one would tell me anything, and I was like, maybe I'm dehydrated, and so those were the only signs that I kind of had. There probably are some other signs, but I wasn't really in tune with my body enough to know. I'm like, something always hurts. I'm a woman, and it's nothing I complained about, nothing that can stop me. So I just kept going. And then, so they did a lumbar puncture and found that I had 57 inflammations in my spine. And I had no idea. So they said, because you can have it in your brain or you can have it in your spine and things like that. So I think mine is in my spine, not necessarily my brain. And it basically your immune system attacks itself, and it can create these like spasms or nerve damage and all this stuff. But it's more of a technical term. I don't know it exactly. I just know what I've been focusing on and how to prevent the symptoms. So that's what I've been doing.
Totally. And so with this, because I think so many people can resonate with the fact of, I just want to make money. I want generational wealth, financial freedom, the hustle culture, lots of people can resonate with that. So I'm curious about what changes you are making in your life and your business to put yourself on maybe like a better health wise, track towards the future. What does your life look like?
Good question. So when this actually happened, what I did, I started to meditate and pray or whatever, some people call it prayer. I call it meditation and prayer. I meditated every day. So you can be sedentary in real estate, especially when you own the company. So I would just be on my computer, like making moves. But now I get up and I actually go on walks every day. My daughter and I, we go on walks. I actually end up getting two dogs. They're 10 months. So now I forced myself to have to go walks every day. I changed my diet. So when you're on the go, you're not eating as healthy or good, right? I didn't even know what healthy eating looked like. I didn't have the knowledge of what was healthy and what was not. I'm still learning actually. So, but now I am very intentional about what I eat. I drink a lot of water. I don't drink alcohol. Before I wasn't drinking alcohol as much, but now I'll probably have one drink a month, if that, some red wine or something like that. But yeah, staying hydrated was very important. Meal prepping and planning, being intentional about processed food, how much sugar intake, things of that nature. So I can't just get up and, I'm gonna grab McDonald's or anything like that. No, I have to, kind of think about what I want to eat before, I mean, and I don't eat. Sometimes I'll go out and have dinner or something like that, but I'm just more intentional, about what I do with my health. Because I noticed, and when I was in the hospital, they really didn't tell me how did this happen, and they were just trying to just shove medications down my throat, and no one really put the emphasis on how important food was and sleeping. They said I've read that sleeping is almost as important as diet and exercise. So I had to learn how to sleep. You know, I had to cut the lights off at 8, 9 o'clock. I had to, I put on my headphones or my eye mask. You know, I go to sleep. I track my sleep to make sure I'm having good REM and deep sleep. I wake up and go into the sun because it helps with your circadian rhythm, in the morning and things like that. Like I was just like crazy about getting healthy. And after 4 months, my vision came back.
Thank you for listening. Out of respect for your time, we want to make this show as valuable as possible for you. So if you have any feedback on how we can improve, please let us know. DM us at Ali the Agent and The Shelby Show.
And after 4 months, my vision came back.
That's crazy. Just from these lifestyle changes. Oh my God. By the way, you are totally speaking my language. Like I
Really?
geek out on this,
Appreciate
man. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I put on my story the other day, like the little changes that I'm now learning about through, people in our community are really freaking psycho into it, or like podcasts or books. But like before I had plastic cutting boards and now I have wood because the plastic, when you cut, it cuts the plastic and it goes into your food, which, your body can't process that. And then it stacks up. And why do we have anxiety and all of these different things? So, and I'm not saying that that's like a direct cause. I'm just giving an example
No,
to
yeah.
say I'm so into the man.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Again, I didn't know what everything was doing to me, right? With the toxins in the world. And I mean, it got overwhelming though when I started to understand what was toxic and what was not, and then try to make those healthy changes. And then you try to do it on a budget because I wasn't working as much now. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to focus on me. But eating whole and healthy and organic and changing. My Tupperware is glass now instead of
Same.
plastic.
Yeah.
But that's our cost, right?
Yeah. And then your fans and friends and family think you're crazy,
Oh,
maybe.
my friends and family think, first of all, I didn't realize how much we talked about food. So here it is now. I'm trying to detox off sugars and processed food, right? And I'm calling my mom or I'm on the phone with like my entire family. We're on FaceTime every single day. And my mom's, I made these pork chops. I fried them in gravy. I'm like, oh my God, like I gotta go. I can't talk about these things because it's too much. They showing pictures of food and look what I cooked and the French toast. And it was overwhelming for me. And it was times I would cry because I'm like, no one understood what I was going through. And then throughout the process, so while my family is supportive, they are fantastic. Okay. And my mom was like, she will go to the doctor with me and she was there. My mom and dad was there the whole time. My children were there. I have older children and they were very, very supportive, but they didn't change their diet. In my house, I stopped buying sodas and juices. It was only water. Now my kids don't even drink pop. Like you could offer my son a Sprite, I'll take a water because that was things that I changed throughout my family. But lo and behold, my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm like, oh my God. So that was a lot, but she handled it. She got on her, she started changing her diet. She started to go walking. Like my family walks every day. Like even my daughter who lives in Georgia, like you went on your walk today. We like, even though we're all in separate places, but we still implement. My daddy, he walks the dog every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. We've all it's been like a year now. So we're all on a healthy journey together. We changed our diet. They didn't change it as much as I did, but everybody's like changing their own way. And I'm going to tell you guys something without even noticing. Because first of all, I thought I was sexy 50 pounds ago. But I lost 50 pounds by making these small changes and didn't even notice until like my family was looking at me like, oh my God, you look younger. They was just like, oh my God, you're thinner. And then I start to see my clothes falling off and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I lost 50 pounds.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Okay. As a real estate agent, it is so easy to fall into the like easy route, like I'm going to go show a home. I have a full day of showing homes, or I have open houses. I don't have time to eat healthy at my house. Let me just go grab some McDonald's. Let me just
Right.
go to Culver's, whatever it is. And the fact that you said, like, when you and I were talking, that you are aging backwards. You used to
Yeah.
spend so much money on skincare, and now you realize that whatever you put into your body food wise, that will help you, with skincare. So there's no point of, spending a lot of money on skincare. just like, Western medicine. Here's a pill for that. Here's a pill for that. And then here's a pill
Yeah.
for those side effects that you're going to get because of pill number one. And it
Yes.
just, it just continues going. So, what are some tips that you have for the struggling agent right now that's like on the go, doesn't see any other, like you're walking every day, you FaceTime your family every day. So, like health and family come first, and you live by that. A lot of agents
Yeah.
say that, but they don't actually follow that. We spoke about sleep, but I guess like overall, how would you advise agents that are struggling with this to get them started?
So, okay, some of the simple things that I do is fasting. I do intermittent fasting. I just don't start eating too early and I don't eat too late. I have a window that I eat. So that's a way that you can do it without costing a lot of money, right?
Wait,
You
what
have
is
to,
the window? I have to
well,
know.
my window, I don't start to after like noon, like after
Noon
12 p.m.
until
I don't eat past 8.
noon to 8. Okay, perfect. Keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry.
noon to 8. But I mean, if it's like a client dinner or like a party or something like that that I plan for, yes, I would eat something. I just won't eat that heavy because when you eat at night, it affects your sleep because your body is digesting food as opposed to just sleeping. So that was just something that I did. Drink water. I have water with me all the time, all the time. Just have, drink water before meals, right? They say you shouldn't drink water you shouldn't drink too much while you're eating. You try to drink before you eat. So then you can actually digest your food, you know? And then you gotta plan a little bit, just prep a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if you know you're gonna eat something or you're gonna be out and you're gonna be showing homes, you can just have like mason jars full of like a salad or like an oatmeal or whatever you may eat. Have something you can just pop open and you can eat real quick to satisfy your hunger. So those are things that I've done. And what else? Cut down. So even I go on a lot of coffee dates because I do a lot of networking events and things like that. But I bring my water. I won't drink the sugary drinks like I used to drink because I used to love Starbucks, and so that helps a lot. And then when I do drink coffee, I have a mushroom coffee that I drink in the morning. Sometimes, but I don't put all the cream and things in there. So yeah,
Girl,
those
I'm on that mushroom train too. We are
really.
we are right there.
I
I
told
tell
you
you,
we're like best friends.
for real. I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
so the fasting, that makes sense. It's super easy. Anyone can do it. The drinking water, you're gonna drink anyway. That's super easy. The
yep,
the meal prepping is a little harder, I think,
yes,
for some people to justify, as well as the walking every day. It's like the time chunk. And I feel like people have the same, oh man, I can't take an hour out of my day to go to the gym or walk around. Like I got do. So I don't know, without getting diagnosed with a disease that
yeah.
like puts your back against the wall, do you have any tips for people to like maybe logically, mentally justify?
Well, let me tell you, as far as walking, all I do is park way far at the parking lot instead of trying to find the closest one, the closest spot. Just park a little further when because you're walking every day anyway. If we're showing houses, we're walking. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty easy. You just don't realize. And another thing that I did, so I do a lot of learning. Learning helps too. You can heal with learning. So, but sometimes when I want to watch TV, an episode or something, and I know that I haven't walked because I live in Chicago and sometimes it's like cold outside. But guess what I would do? I would turn on my favorite episode of something that night right before I go to sleep. And I would sit in front of my TV and I would just walk. That's it. Just walk instead of sitting down watching TV. I'm going to walk and watch TV. These are things that anybody can implement. Your favorite show is 30 minutes or an hour. You're just walking the whole time. It's really easy if you think about it. Like you just don't want to think too hard about it. And these are small changes that you can make. Another change that I make too is it's like these breathing exercise that I do when you wake up. It's 11 minutes or 20 minutes. It depends on you, but it's like Wim Hof. He has these breathing exercises that like help your body come more alkaline. And I love doing it. I remember I could barely hold my breath for 30 seconds and now I can hold my breath for over 2 minutes. And then another thing that anybody could implement, cold showers. Every time I take a shower, the last 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how cold it is outside, will be like, it will be cold. And that helps a lot with your vascular system, things like that. So,
It's so funny you say that about the Wim Hof. So, of course, that's a part of not my world. I'm not good at it, by the
Yeah.
way, but like stumbled across him. I think it was, I don't know, some podcast. And then my husband and his best friend went to, so there's like Wim Hof certified trainers. There's
Yeah.
not very many of them that exist, but they were traveling and they came to Charlotte and they went to this 4-hour Wim Hof training where they did
Yes.
all of the breathing. They had all the tubs set up with the
Yes.
ice
With
water and
the ice bath.
yeah, yeah. So of course you're on that train. I'm curious, where do you have a couple of favorite sources in which you're learning about this stuff? Because you don't just, wake up and know about, Wim Hof or like cold showers. So like where are you getting your information? Yo, real quick, this podcast is not free. Cost of admission is sharing with a buddy who'd benefit or throwing it on your Instagram story. Tag us, we'll reshare that.
Well, YouTube. So when I was focused on healing. So when I got diagnosed, I was like, how do I heal myself? Like what? I just went down a rabbit hole, right? And so when I was on YouTube, I found out about Wim Hof, the breathing method, and I just started to do it because I'm a type of person, I don't look too much into it. I want to see what it does for me. And I did the breathing exercises, the cold showers. I've done it. I mean, I've been doing cold showers for a year now. Again, it's not too much. It's just like after your regular shower, just turn it on ice cold for as long as you can take it. Even when your body's no, let's get out. You just push it a little bit first. You just have your, you have your mind take over as opposed to like your ego, right? And then it's really good too, like cold showers and things like that, because you are able to, you're getting your body adjusted to stress in like in small increments, right? So I handle stress differently than I did a year ago because I do these things. So, but yeah, it's just the internet. The internet can be your best friend and your worst enemy. It depends how you use it.
That is so true. Going back to when you were first diagnosed and you're getting cancer treatment, like
Yes.
you're thinking that this is the only way up until you realize, no, there has to be another way.
Yeah.
I really want to dive deep into mind what your mind frame was like, because at that point that can make or break people. People will either just accept their quote unquote fate, or
Right.
they will be like you and they'll just say, no, I'm going to cure myself without, honestly, without like Western medicine, like
Right.
just by changing my lifestyle, like the mentality behind that, the grit, the positivity,
Yeah.
knowing that you have 3 kids, single mother, you're doing this for your dad, like for Ward Real Estate,
Yeah.
that's your
Yeah.
group. Everything is so, you have people that depend on you. How did you end up just saying, "Yes, I'm changing it myself,"
So the
like
question is
mental?
how not? I mean, I have so many people that love me and that depend on me and that it's like when you have such a support system, there is no choice. I've seen my parents fight. They're hard workers, and they taught me I can be anything. Like my parents put so much like belief in me that I felt like I could fly if I wanted to. And it's nothing can defeat me. Like I've never felt defeated a day in my life. I definitely feel invincible. And I feel like if anybody can do it, I can do it. And I definitely feel chosen when I walk through life. Like I'm so blessed. And I'm like, I don't know why I am. I just know that I am. And I know that, like I said, things don't happen to me, they happen for me. So when that happened, that was a bigger message. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? What is my message supposed to be? And that's when I realized my message is to help my community heal. So I had to heal myself first so then I could heal others. And coming from me to somebody that they trust, it was like, it resonates better than somebody else telling them, oh, do this, do that. You're like, yeah, whatever. They don't identify with you, but a lot of people identify with me. And so I'm able to okay, talk to people who would never normally take nutrition seriously. Because a lot of us, we're just worried about money. Like we don't worry about, I got to eat better and this and that. You don't realize that stuff will catch up with you. Even if you don't see the signs now, it catches up with you eventually. Right. And so that's what that's what I speak about now. So even more so than real estate, it's about health. It was just in me. it was a no brainer for me. I remember I can see my children's faces when this happened. My whole family, like my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, it shook my entire family. First of all, I knew I was important to myself, but I didn't know I was so important to so many different people. And I remember even seeing my daughter. I remember she came and she came to the hospital. Like they flew in. They were out of the country, so they flew in, stopped their vacation. I didn't even want to tell them because I'm like, they're not doctors. They can't help me. I don't want to ruin their vacation. But when they found out, they came in. I remember my daughter. She was like trying to give me a sponge bath, and I'm like, oh, it's my eye. What are you doing? Calm down. And it was just like, and she came every day at 7 in the morning, and she would wait for an hour until visitation start, and just to be there with me the whole day. And I'm like, and it was so sweet, but it was like overwhelming because I'm trying to make them, I'm trying to keep save face. Like, even though I was scared, but I'm trying to console them. It's okay. And we're trying to find out what's going on. So for me, I had no other choice.
Wow. Okay. I'm still curious as to what, okay, do you think that this is nature or nurture? I guess, are people born that way? No, I'm going to fight this. Or do you think it's learned, if that makes sense?
So okay, so that's a good question. I think it might be both, like for me, right? I mean, it was already like I was born like this, but I was also nurtured into this too. My parent and my aunt told me this story. It's so weird, but she says I was the first person that my parents ever fell in love with, even before themselves or each other. And so much love, and they still together to this day, but so much love was poured into me as a child. But I definitely, I don't understand like why I'm this way, because I know I have sisters and they love each other and love themselves. But I don't know if I've met anybody who loved themselves as much as I do. So, I mean, that's just me. It's like my joke, my running joke. Like I'm pretty self-absorbed, in the best way possible, right? It's just, I love to talk about myself. I feel like it keeps me from gossiping. I'm like, I don't want to talk about me. I know me. I don't know anything else. So it's definitely, it's nature and nurture.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Okay. Meditation. We kind of glossed over this in the beginning. Let's talk further into it. When do you meditate and what do you use? Are there any apps or books, resources?
Okay. Okay. So meditation, so it depends. I used to start early in the morning, start my day. I used to start and end my day with meditation. I would meditate 2 hours a day, like an hour in the day in the beginning and an hour in the evening. But now I'm down to 19 minutes a day because now I'm working more, like I'm busier now. And plus I found this one meditation that I can get it all in 19 minutes. It's Mind Valley. I don't know if you ever heard of an app called Mind Valley. It is fantastic. It's like university for humanity. Okay. They have like over 900 like educational resources and classes and things like that. Every video is less than 15 minutes. It is. So you guys need to look it up. It's fantastic. This guy named Vishen Lishiani, he started Mind Valley. So it's been helping me a lot with, I do the meditation from him. It's called the 6 phase meditation. So I do that from Mind Valley. They even have a class called the Queen Effect, where they talk about like walking and being a strong woman, or, being in your moment and being confident and things like that. It's so many different classes. They even have one called the Silva Method, like the Silva Mind Method. And have you ever heard of the Silva Method? It helps you tap into your intuition. And so I do this, like I've done the class, the Silva Method, and I promise you, I'm writing a book called The Day I Lost My Sight and Gained My Vision, because all this work that I've done on myself, you're so yeah,
Dude,
That's
that's
a
an
perfect
amazing title. Both of
Wow.
us are
yeah.
like, oh.
I'm a master at making titles. Like I will try to capitalize off anything. But yeah, it's going to be called My Third Eye, The Day I Lost My Sight and Gained My Vision, because of everything that I've been through, right? And these books, like the Silva Method, it helps you with your intuition, because a lot of people have it, but they don't follow it. And it kind of teaches you to kind of follow your intuitive nature. Like I follow my intuition so hard that I was in a relationship for 16 years with a wonderful man. And one day I realized that he was not my future husband. like we wasn't meant to be together in that way. And I politely told him, like, I really love you. I will always love you and respect you, but you're not my husband. And I have to go my separate way. And I left, essentially somebody who was, and he's still my best, he's still like one of my greatest friends, but it's just, he's not my partner. And I left him and I was single for a very long time. But it's all about the follow that gut, we all have it, but a lot of people don't follow it. And I follow mine to the latter. Like I trust it.
I have such a hard time with even knowing what my gut is telling me. And I see other people, they're just like, there's so much more connected, I guess, to their intuition, gut than I am. How would someone even start tapping into that? What does it feel like?
Apple listeners, this short pause is to ask you for a review. Here's how to do it. Back out of the specific episode, go to the page where you see all the episodes, scroll down, keep scrolling. Perfect. Now tap those 5 stars. Thank you so much. Back to the show.
Well, when you do your meditations or your prayers, that are already, that helps, right? You have to have that time where you're quiet and still with yourself, and kind of get into your own mind and try to control your subconscious, it's really deep. It wasn't something I did overnight. It's just a little bit every day. And before I knew it, I started to be able to understand, hear that inner voice, and actually follow it. But it's all the work that I've done with myself, and all the time I didn't do real estate for 6, 7 months. I mean, and what I mean by that is I still had clients that I remember being in the hospital but negotiating a deal for a condo. I sold 2 condos right when this happened to me. So as a listing agent, I don't have to go there. I just got to negotiate, which I love doing. You could do that from anywhere. So to this day, my clients don't even know I was in the hospital. I never said anything because it was nothing that they could do for me. I didn't need I didn't need to make excuses for why I couldn't do anything. I was able to, do everything I said I was going to do. But those little things like meditating and learning, reading every day, like I would read every day for 10 to 15 minutes at night. That's not a lot, but those things kind of help you get to the point where you like, okay, you start to hear like that inner voice. Like I said, you sit with yourself, you just be still and see everything that's going on. And when you pray and you ask for things, again, I mean, some people don't believe in God, but it's for everybody. It could be the higher power, higher intelligence. I don't know whatever you believe in, but when you ask the universe for questions, it will answer it. And I remember another thing that I did that was really an author. His name is Joe Dispenza. He's like a neuroscientist or something. And he has these books and it was all about the universe and how you can kind of bend the universe to your will, heart and brain coherence and things like that. And that stuff like worked because I would do these things, like I would journal and I would like I said, I would meditate and pray. I remember I had the 2 condos on the market for over 200 days. I don't know what was happening, why it wouldn't sell. It was priced correctly. Nothing was moving. And I remember doing my first meditation and it was a Joe Dispenza meditation. And he said that something's going to happen and you're not going to know. I mean, don't expect something to happen, but just be open to what happens. Right. And so I remember my phone was on Do Not Disturb. And then when I finished the meditation, I had 2 missed calls and I'm like, what's going on? So I called the realtor back and she was like, say if it's a Wednesday night, she was like, I'm calling about your condo. We're supposed to close on another condo tomorrow, but something just came up and they need this condo because it's across the street from Loyola University and they're cash buyers, and let me know, if your seller's open to whatever, we can close by Tuesday. And I'm like, what? And then sure enough, call my seller and we close by Tuesday. And I'm like, that was my first meditation. What the heck, So I'm like, this stuff works. And so I just started doing more of it, when it's working. And see, that's the thing. And when it started working, a lot of people stop. You got to keep going. If you want it to keep working. So like I said, when you start to meditate or pray or whatever, you ask for something, I call it bless it and release it. I'll ask the universe, or in my case, God, and give me the answer to this. And then I don't worry about it anymore. I release it. And then next thing you know, it'll be revealed at some point in
I have to know. When is your book gonna be out?
time. I don't know. I'm working on it now. I have no idea because, and that's another thing. I'm trying to manage time because I'm doing so much with the business. I do my daily habits every day, right? And then work, figuring out what I'm going to eat. Then I got 2 baby dogs, and my children. So every day I just try to write a little something and I'm going to see what happens. I don't want to put a deadline on it because I don't know how inspired I'm going to be, how big, how long, and I'm going through it currently, so it's like things that I'm going through now is going to be in my book, you know? So I don't know when it's going to be out, but you'll be the first to know when it is out.
Excellent. Yes. Send me a signed copy. I
Yeah.
want a signed one.
Yes.
um, I want to know. It seems like with health and your mind frame, and like you're on the up and up. Like you're there. I think when you and I were talking, you said that you're the happiest that you've ever been, or something like that. What are you what are you struggling with? Are you struggling with anything?
Time management. I want to do it all. I want to do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely struggling with being able to focus on what's important, because in my mind, it's all important, and I have all these ideas in my head. Every day I'm inspired. And when that happens, it's just now you kind of want to focus on that. But it's just, so that's one thing that I'm all over the place. So it sounds better than what it is, but it's a lot. So that's what I've been struggling with. And then I'm still struggling with nutrition. What's healthy? What's not? Because you go on the internet, they'll say, oh, if you eat too many apples, you can get sick. Or don't eat oats, or then somebody else will say eat oats, or don't eat brown rice, but then somebody say eat brown rice, and don't eat eggs, and then you can't eat eggs. So those are the things that I'm kind of like struggling with too. What do I eat? How do I prepare for my day? So you don't want to eat the same things because certain vegetables give you certain benefits, right? So you can't just eat spinach all the time, and too much spinach is bad because of the oxalate. So it gets confusing. So I'm still struggling with that. I feel like it's easier to just get rich and get a chef and have him him or her worry about it. So I could just worry about everything else and conquer the world, right?
Dude, I feel you hard on the what is right because the internet, okay, it wasn't until Drake went like Drake is my husband and
Yeah,
he went like super hardcore into SEO. So he took a course and had a mentor and was like writing all these articles to try to like game Google,
yeah,
like what can I put in here, the keywords, all of the little details. And that's when it like really hit me that that's all everyone is doing. And so everything that we see on the internet that pops up as like the best information or the most, it's really just there's someone behind the scenes who's either physically doing it or they're paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to get that article
yeah,
to the top of the page. And
yeah.
so my head just exploded and I was like, what the now? What can I believe?
What do
Like,
I
what is
do?
real?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. It's exhausting. That's why I said it could be your best friend and your worst enemy. That's how I felt once I got diagnosed. And when I was hearing about MS, like some people, like most doctors will tell you that it is no way to cure it. You're going to have it for the rest of your life and this and that. But then I looked, and this one woman who had it since she was 19, who is now like 50 something, she got a book called Beat Autoimmune, or How I Beat Autoimmune Disease or something. So, and I connected with her. And so it's just ways to go about it. You just can't have anybody tell you what you can't do. You can do anything, right? And that's why it's just like, so it's about belief too. You are what you believe. If you believe you can't do it, you won't do it. If you believe you can, you will. Like I am a strong believer in that. And it's like I said, it was overwhelming looking at all the stuff on the internet, right? So then I have to decipher what's pertains to me and what doesn't. And that's why I said you're forever learning about that stuff. It's nothing like, I'm pretty sure if we talk a year from now, I'm gonna have more information, or I'm gonna be more like, okay, this worked versus this didn't work. Right now, the learning every day, reading every day, meditating every day, walking for 30 minutes, even if it's in front of a TV, drinking water, and cold showers have helped me get to where I am today. And I can even see the physical difference. Ali was saying, I was telling her, I spent thousands on face care, thousands. Okay. And then I realized without even noticing that just drinking water and eating healthy, my face started to change itself, you know? So those are things that, and people don't realize that. They thinking it's topical stuff. It's about what you put inside of your body, what you nourish your body and your mind with. You just got to be very intentional and very careful with that.
Okay, Zan, before we head to our wrap up questions, what did we miss? What did we not talk about that you want to share with listeners?
I think, well, I wanted to kind of tell the story of Forward Realty. You know, I was telling Allie before, my dad, he had three daughters and he was always sad that he didn't have a son. And one day I asked him, Dad, why is it so important for you to have a son? He said, I wanted someone to carry my name. And I'm like, I can do that. And so my last name is Ward. And so I created a company called Forward Realty. And the double meaning is also that forward is one of my favorite words because I feel like a lot of us as people are stuck. And, you know, whenever somebody presents a problem with to me and I'm like, okay, moving forward, what are we going to do? What's the solution? You know, I never stay stuck in any type of situation, as you can see, even with the MS. So Forward Realty, I want to kind of touch on how that all started and trying to build a legacy for not only me, but my family and anybody else who is scared, you know, and I'm here to tell you that it's possible, even with all the odds I get against you.
Freaking back your whole story and that little bit with your dad. I bet he's so freaking proud. Like
Yeah,
insanely proud.
he wouldn't
Oh.
say it, but
Okay, wrap up. We're going to the wrap up questions now. And question number one, which we've already talked on so many helpful like apps and tools, but the question is, what is your favorite app or tool?
my favorite app is definitely right now. It's Mind Valley. Yes, I look at it every day if I could. I listen to it while I'm in the car because it's like I said, it's over 900 different classes, and it's a wide range of different learning experiences. Right, the silver one, it's about tapping into your intuition. The meditation, because a lot of people don't know how to meditate. It's the six phase meditation. They have one called Be Extraordinary. You know, it's all these different things. So Mind Valley has been my favorite over the past year.
Nice. And in 2024, are you going to any events or can people find you in person anywhere, whether it's nationwide or local?
Well, yes. I mean, they can find me. They definitely can find me. And I'm open to anything at this point. I go to a lot of events. I really don't plan for it. Every week someone invite me and if I'm not doing anything, I'm here for it. Like literally every day I go to networking events if I could. I also started my own little networking event with some close friends of mine. I call Meeting of Minds. And so, but yes, they definitely can find me in person. If you Google Forward Realty Chicago, you're going to be in touch with me.
Okay, perfect. And what can listeners do to help you in your business, us and the listeners?
Well, for me, that's why I reached out to Ali. I'm trying to grow my systems right now. And so, because I have a virtual, it took me like 2 years to get this, but I have a virtual office license. So if you know someone in Illinois who is self motivated, hard worker, who wants to become a realtor or something, like you can send them to me, but that'll be the way that they can help me. But that's what I'm focusing on. I want to become. I'm a boutique brokerage, but I want to help as many people as I can that has the same goals.
And it's so easy. Well, I guess it was easy for me to align with you, right? So if anyone is listening to this and they are in Chicago looking for an awesome broker mentor, reach out to Zan. Where can they reach out to you? Where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me, like I said, Forward Realty Chicago or forwardrealty.pro. You can find me there and you can call me. My number, can I tell my number on
Girl, you can do whatever
there?
you
Okay.
want.
My number is 773-370-1572. And I always answer. And if I don't, I'll get back to you. Leave a message.
Ugh, love it. And in case you guys missed that, of course, we will be putting it in the show notes along with a lot of the apps and tools that Zan did mention. And be on the lookout. Make sure you follow her on social media and keep in touch with her so you can be the first to know about her upcoming book, We're stoked. I also want a signed copy. I didn't mention that earlier. Ali said
Okay.
it, but I also
Oh, you
want
got
one.
it.
Okay. Okay, perfect. And listeners, also hang out with me and Ali. We are Ali the Agent and the Shelby Show on the gram. Hit us with feedback. We want to hear from you. We want to hang with you. And otherwise, that is all we have for today. Zane, thank you so much for coming on the Agent Goldmine. And listeners, this is for you. Be a bro and share this show. Thanks so much for listening, dude. If you want the golden nugget that this guest provided, see the show notes or just go straight to theagentgoldmine.com. That's where we keep all our resources for you. Till next time.